and it's really, really my honor to be with you today. I feel so happy that so many of you are making time for this topic in the middle of your day. And actually, it's beautiful that it is in the middle of the day, because we can look back over the morning and we can check in on our emotions during the morning, and then we can look forward to how we want to live the rest of the day, the evening, when we go home or we're with our family. So beautiful, very beautiful. And today, how are we going to spend our time? One thing is absolutely certain. I'm not going to talk to you for an hour and a quarter because I think you'll feel bored. I am going to invite you to experiment and practice with the tools that we're bringing in the session today. And what we're going to do is, even right now, we're in the middle of our day. Let's introduce a practical tool to begin with. And for this, I'd like to invite you just to find your place comfortably in your seat. Are you comfortable? And this is a 2-minute exercise you can use anywhere, anytime. It's very effective to support emotion management. And so become aware of your body in your seat. Notice any tension and any muscles in the body. That's from the feet, the legs, relaxing the muscle, the stomach, the neck, shoulders, just being aware of this body. It's worked for you all day until now. And allowing all the muscles to be loose and relaxed. And now, aware of your breathing and taking breath in and filling your lungs with air fully filling your lungs with air. And now, each time you breathe in, just feel your inhaling calmness. And each time you exhale, exhaling any worries or any concerns. So now your whole body is calm. And your mind is calm. Thank you so much, everyone. A 2-minute practical experiment. We can do standing, waiting in line. We can do waiting to pick our children up. We can do waiting anytime, just to refresh the mind and body. And so I'd like to tell you now a little bit more about what we will do today as we move through today. we will look at moving to a very beautiful state of mind and being able to live in that always, always. We'll look at understanding and transforming emotions, and a very beautiful secret to set us free from negative emotions. And again, we'll do lots of very practical experiments. So where are we in terms of the world? Where are we right now? What do you think? We are talking about emotions more than ever before. And yet, in the last 20 years, negative emotions have increased a lot. We're studying EQ, and yet EQ is dropping more than ever before. And then we all know COVID and the fear and anxiety, depression that has come in because of that. So we could say we are in a challenging situation right now, and a time when negative emotions are increasing a lot. And if we look at this beautiful scale, this is something very special that Dr. David Hawkins made through years of research into emotions and the vibrations they create. And what he tells us is that most of the world are living most of their time below 200. And that means if they are living below a vibration of 200, they will be very regularly experiencing emotions that are hurting, first, their mind, secondly, their body, the heart, the muscles, and of course the atmosphere and the relationships. And yet if we move above 200, if we move above, then the emotions that we're creating are very healthy for our mind and our body. And I'd like us just to do a little exercise, a little experiment. And I'd like you to think back to this morning. And once more, allow yourself just to be still in your chair. A deep breath in to calm your body, and a deep breath out. Just sit very, very still and calm. And I'd like you to think back over the morning as you began your day. What kind of emotions you were creating inside you as you started your morning and moved through the morning. Just try to name them. Were they positive, happy, understanding, enthusiastic, or was there some worry, some stress? What were they? And then you move through lunchtime. And again, naming the emotions that you were feeling. And then, as you moved on into the afternoon, again the emotions. and just acknowledging them. Just acknowledging them. And once more, as you look at the scale, if you can think about where on the scale you would like to live for the rest of the afternoon and through into tomorrow. Where do I want to be? Just choose one emotion that's positive, and it might not even be on the scale. It could be another one because there's so many. And just feel that emotion inside you now. Feel it deeply inside your mind, and then let it flow into your body. And let it flow from your body and your mind out into the room. Maybe it's understanding, someone saying happiness, beautiful. So just feel that and hold that. And that's the emotion you are choosing to live with for the rest of the day. And again, it's truly a choice. Beautiful gratitude. There's a lot of beautiful research on gratitude and how it raises our emotions. Even gratitude is a very high emotion, about 700. So it's beautiful. So we're feeling that, and we're seeing ourselves move through the day with these very beautiful emotions: acceptance, appreciation, thank you. So let's hold these now and feel them as we move through the seminar. Let's hold them and vibrate them. And so let's look a little bit more at where we are going. We're raising our emotions. So where to begin? And it can be useful to understand a little bit about what we often do when we have negative emotions. And maybe I'd just like to ask you now, what do you often do when you have negative emotions? Anyone? Can you think back to the last time you had a negative emotion? Maybe it was last year or yesterday or this morning. What did you do with your negative emotion? Anyone? What did you do when you had that negative emotion? Right, it blocked your communication and you tried to change it, yes? You went to the toilet, okay, and took a deep breath. Okay, that's also a method. It's a good method. Okay, a lot of answers. While you counted 1 to 10. I think you've got beautiful, beautiful techniques already. But someone else is saying, I cried, and someone else is saying, I neglected it. And this is also what we often do. We neglect it and we don't face it. So let's look more, yes, a lot of deep points and very connected to what we're going to look at. Sometimes we express our negative emotions. We express them. Now, when we express them, of course, we might shout or yell, but it could be other more subtle ways we express by not communicating or not helping others. And of course, then we hurt others. And then when we hurt others, they remember that. For example, if we say something in anger, they remember it a long time. But I think, when you express a negative emotion, and sometimes, you maybe instantly you feel because you released it, but very quickly after that, what do you feel? A very low emotion? Anyone? When maybe we said something in anger to our children, We're feeling, why didn't they do their homework? We said something in anger, and then maybe we felt a little relief, then very quickly, yeah, we regret, and we feel guilty. And this is actually really important. I'm glad that you named that, because we can see that guilt and shame are the lowest emotions on the scale. And so if we are feeling guilt and regret, when we express these negative emotions, it's going to take a lot of our inner energy. It's going to take time to recover. So expressing, we can see we hurt others. But then often we think, okay, if I express, I hurt others. But then I think, let me keep it inside and suppress it. So if I suppress it, what happens? What happens? Can you remember when you suppress an emotion, what happens to you? Just remember, in your mind and body, when you suppress anger or you suppress worry, fear, what happens? Okay, sometimes we explode, but we get headaches. And that's because that negative emotion is moving so fast, and you suppress it. It creates pressure in our mind, in our heart, in our stomach. And a lot of research talks about backache. And when people let go of negative emotions, when they let go of them in a positive way, they overcome them, they transform them, backache heals. Right? So this is the effect of the negative emotion on body, on the back. So if we suppress them, we hurt ourselves. We hurt ourselves very much. So the negative, we hurt others, but suppressing, we hurt ourselves. And this is really important. And Diane Tillman, an author, and her books are actually in Vietnamese, and a very beautiful one is available on our app as an audio book. You can listen for free. It's a very, very deep book. And what she says, she's a psychologist, and what she says, when we reject, deny, or suppress negative emotions, it can make that emotion stronger. Or it's like that emotion eats up the energy of our happiness, and then we feel low or numb. Right? So this is so damaging. If we express, we hurt others, then we feel guilty. Suppress, we really, really hurt our mind and body. So let's not do that anymore. Let's be sensible and wise. Let's move out of that. And another important thing, when you are having negative emotions, you might find that you blame yourself. You say, it's because of me. I'm to blame for how I feel. And then we can be very critical, and we can say, it's all my fault. And we feel we have no power. We feel depressed, inferior. And we begin negative or critical self-talk. Yeah, very, very uncomfortable space to be in. So you know what it's like when you talk to yourself in a critical way? Who knows that? Yeah, very, very uncomfortable. So when we're experiencing a negative emotion, we might criticize ourselves and blame ourselves. But the second thing that we can do, right? So we can feel, blame ourselves. But then the other thing that we can do is point the finger the other way and blame others and say, because of you, I feel like this. It's your fault. I'm a victim. Right? And then I just won't take responsibility for how I feel. Right? So we can live in this very uncomfortable space of either blaming ourselves or blaming others. Yet this is not good. We need to develop a healthy way with which to see our negative emotions. This is the beginning of change, and this is the beginning of becoming free from filling our mind with very, very uncomfortable, fast thinking of worry or guilt or fear. So let me develop a healthy way of understanding my emotions. Let me do this now. And so we know this is not the place to be, right? So let me live in the middle and let me appreciate myself and my strengths and take responsibility for my negative emotions, but keep my self-respect. Right? So when I do that, then I can accept and understand, and I can transform these negative emotions. Right? And then I have control. I'm in control. Right? So we're really looking at being in the middle. And what I'd like to do is invite us to do an exercise in living in the middle. Are you ready? Are you okay? Everyone's okay so far? Still calm? Yes? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's do an exercise. And again, just 2 minutes. Allow your body to, again, be comfortable in your chair. Take a deep breath. And again, breathing in calmness deeply. And relaxing all the muscles in my body. And just focusing all my attention in the present moment. And I'm sitting here with the feeling of being a master. I can choose the emotions I create. And perhaps sometimes in the past, when I've had negative emotions, I might have blamed myself and said it's my fault. And perhaps at other times, I blamed others and pointed the finger out. It's you. I feel like this because of you. I might have done either of these things or both of these things. Yet now I'm living in the middle, and just feel the middle. As I'm living in the middle, I know my value and I know my strength. I appreciate myself so much. And from this stage of appreciation and self-respect, I'm able to look at any negative emotions that are living within the self, whatever they may be, fear, worry, arrogance, whatever it is, I'm able to look at it with honesty. And, perhaps I can even name it. For me this morning, I drew it. And why? Because, otherwise the negative emotion can just roam around in our mind. If we actually draw it, it's like we take it outside and we can see it, we can look at it. It makes it easier to understand. So I'm able to look at it from a feeling of acceptance and understanding and self-respect. I know that I can change it. And I remain calm and positive as I look at it. So this is living in the middle. This is a healthy way to deal with emotions. So let me do that. And let me be aware anytime I start to blame myself for feeling negative or blame others for my feeling negative. It's because of you. It's your fault. Let me put my fingers down and just step into this feeling of self-respect and acceptance. And from this positive space, work with the emotion. And so let's continue this journey, a beautiful journey. Yeah? And so let me not go to the left or the right. Let me live in the middle. Yes, accepting my emotions. Because when I accept and understand them, I can learn to transform them. It's a very beautiful thing, right? By accepting, the power of the emotion reduces. When I reject it, as Diane Tillman was saying, it makes it more powerful. It hurts me more. So let me stay here. So this first step to accepting and understanding. And there's several steps. So once again, I would like you to be really comfortable. And I'll tell you the steps. And then we will go through it together. So it involves breathing. It involves accepting ourselves as we are. It involves naming the emotion, listening to ourselves, and repeating back what we are feeling. So you're feeling angry, and it involves observing the emotion. And when we observe it, it will decrease. And then it involves understanding what is underneath the emotion, what need is not being met. And so what I would like us to do now is I'm going to talk, we'll play some soft music, and I'm going to walk us through this exercise. And as I do this, I'd like everyone, can you please choose one emotion that's challenging you most at the moment? Yes, perhaps a situation where you felt a strong emotion recently. And maybe just take a minute, you can just put it in the chat box. Is that okay? Okay, anger. Lovely. Yes, anger. Yes. Yes, fear, worried. Yeah, disappointment. Thank you so much. Depressed. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Wonderful. Thank you. Well done. So we'll play some soft music And let's really walk through this beautiful first step to managing emotions. So again, just thank you for sharing your ideas. Beautiful. Yeah, etc. Tired. So just now become still in your body. And we're going through this powerful first step of managing emotions. And so sitting here, body comfortable, a deep breath, and feel yourself breathing deeply in your own natural rhythm 3 times. In and out. In your own time. And feel very deep relaxation as you do this. And now, if you can please move to the next step, and that is to name the emotion. It might be, as I was giving example, it might be worry. It might be anger, whatever it is, just name it. And together with that, feel acceptance for yourself once more. Accepting yourself. Not rejecting yourself. Accepting yourself. Continue to breathe deeply and calmly. Name the emotion. And now I'd like you to actively listen to yourself. Now this is something very special. So maybe I've given the example of worry. Maybe I can say I'm feeling worry. So when I say that, and I actively listen, so maybe I say with this finger, I'm feeling worry. When I actively listen with this finger, I say, so you're feeling worried. So you're feeling worried. Yes. So just do that if you don't mind. With that nice music we keep playing. And once more, you can just do in your own way with your fingers the emotion. I'm feeling worried. And the other finger. So you're feeling worried. And breathe and notice what happens when you do this. You can even repeat it. What will happen when you actively listen? You'll feel the emotion is reducing. You hear yourself repeat back the emotion. So you acknowledge it and it reduces the intensity. And now the next step, just observe the emotion and breathe calmly just observe. You'll feel it reducing. And the next step, I ask myself, what am I wanting? What am I looking for? And this is something very interesting. This is something very interesting. When I do that, I ask myself, what is under the emotion that is not being met? This is very interesting because very often I will find some amazing secret here. And I wonder if you can write in the chat box, because this is a very special wisdom. Can you write what you see underneath the emotion? A need that's not being met. When you ask yourself that question, maybe we'll just ask once more slowly. Underneath the emotion, what is the need that is not being met? Just become silent and wait for the answer. Anyone? What is the answer? Right? So we don't feel that we're receiving love. Yes. Yes, we don't feel loved. Again, we don't feel accepted. We don't feel safe, valued, fulfilled in our life. Understanding. Right? Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Very, very special. So just acknowledge that need now. Even say it to yourself. So I don't feel loved. I don't feel accepted. This is a very, very healthy process in accepting and understanding our emotion. Just spend another few seconds to say that. And when you say that, notice what happens. Yeah, you feel accepted, you feel release. And yes, still that feeling may be there, but you know what we can do? What we can do is we can be the ones to meet that need for ourselves. So if we are looking for respect from others, if that's what I'm wanting, let me respect myself. And really say that now. If I'm looking for love, let me love myself. Perhaps I'm sad because I'm feeling not respected. But let me be that for myself. And can we just experiment with that now? Whatever it was that I was asking for, let me just ask how long I've been asking for that. 1 day, 1 week, 1 year. Anyone? How long have I been asking for that need to be met? A week, a year? How long, if I look over my life, how long have I been asking for that? Many years, right? All the time, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, our whole life, right? Okay, wow, yes. Okay, so a very, very long time, if not my whole life. I've been doing it for years, looking out and asking, you give me respect, give me love. And that's not wrong. In a sense, everyone has the right for that. But if I've been doing that and I haven't been receiving it, and I've been causing myself pain and getting angry and disappointed and expecting and getting angry and disappointed and then feeling guilty, why not say, whatever I'm looking for outside, let me be that for myself. And let's do that now for 2 minutes. Whatever I'm asking for from outside, let me do that for myself. Again, we'll play some soft music and 2 minutes. A very short exercise, but incredibly powerful. Whatever the need is that I feel is not being met, gain a deep breath, relaxed body, and let me be that for myself. If I'm looking for respect, and I've been looking for it for the whole life, let me respect myself. Let me be a friend for myself and look at myself with so much respect and so much love and appreciation. Let me look through eyes of respect and love. Can I do that now? Let me be that friend for myself. And with each breath, I breathe in more of that quality I'm looking for. I feel I'm filling up with that quality for myself. And as you become full of that quality from inside, you feel full of love or respect. And then you look out at the world. How do you feel? How do you feel when we're filled up from the inside and we look out? How do we feel? Anyone? Anyone like to share? Yeah, we're at peace. We're no longer asking. Exactly. So this is an incredibly important aspect. Beautiful. Thank you so much for all your feedback. And I'm going to show you some more slides now. And so this is accepting. This is the first step, and well done. And again, these points of breathing, accepting ourselves, naming the emotion, active listening to ourselves, observing it, and then asking, what is the need under the emotion that's not being met? So this is the first step to truly managing my emotions. Okay? Thank you so much. And I want to go into just a little bit about anger because a lot of people mentioned it. Now, anger is never first. And I want you to think back So if your children are late home from school, you know, when they used to go to school, I know many of them aren't right now, but you know, when they used to go to school and when they will go to school again, if they're late home 1 hour, how do you feel? 1 hour late, how do you feel? Worried, right? 3 hours late, right? You're all saying worried. 3 hours late, how do you feel? 3 hours. Some are saying angry, but mostly really worried, very worried. Okay, it's dark and they're still not home. You're afraid. Okay, but then after 1 more hour, they come in and they say, hello. How do you feel now? They're home. Hello. How do you feel? Relief? Yeah. Some of you are saying relief, good. But very often we are worried when they're not home. But when they get home, yeah, we express anger. And so very often, anger is like the fire on top. It's not the first emotion. We expect something or we feel afraid, not safe, and then it leads to anger. But even when we have disappointment, underneath that is another emotion which we know, expectation. So anger's the fire at the end. We don't need to focus there. We need to go underneath and focus on the seed, which is expectation. Yes, or sometimes it might be another emotion. But again, this is what we need to do, is look at what is underneath. And even beyond that, we will find beyond that is a very beautiful space of our positive qualities. So let us live in those qualities. As we were just doing, let us go back to that state of love, or give us love from inside. And then we will reduce the expectation. So again, because anger is the second or third emotion, we don't need to look at the anger. We need to see what is underneath, understand it, and accept it. And then we can move beyond it. So that's the first step, and really the most important one. But let's move on. The second step is to know myself. You know, we have so much information now. We have so much information about what's happening in the world, what's happening around us. But do I really know myself? Do I really know who I am? This is really important, to spend time to know and really be with myself. And I remember working with one manager. I was doing a seminar, and it was people in the government in New Zealand. And one manager came up to me privately after the session, and he said, you know, I'm working with people all day. I'm managing big projects. But when I look in the mirror in the morning, I feel like I don't know who I am. And really, he was very stressed. And so it's like he became disconnected with himself. So he didn't feel he really knew what he was feeling or understood himself anymore. So it's very important to spend time to know ourselves and to really look at how I'm speaking to myself, and also to understand the influence of what happened when I was growing up. because the way that we grow up has incredible impact on us. Our parents, of course, they always will say beautiful things, but together with that, they may also say some negative things, and we don't blame them for that, but sometimes what happens is that we remember those things very deeply. And if they're said to us at a time when we were very young or very sensitive, then we start to really believe them, and we speak to ourselves in that way, even though we are adults. And so this is important to understand, because my relationship with myself it's the foundation. And if I don't have a good relationship with myself, it will pollute every other relationship I have. It will come into every other relationship. So I'd like you just again to take 2 minutes, just take a deep breath and really think, how is my relationship with myself? How would I describe it? Am I a friend for myself? Am I, like supporting myself, saying well done, and comforting myself like I really would for a friend? Yeah, beautiful. You're becoming a friend. Yeah. Or am I on the other side? Am I criticizing myself and saying I'm not good or I'm bad? So just spending a minute and listening to the voice with which I speak to myself. And describing it, naming it. Is it kind and friendly, supportive? Or is it harsh and critical? And once more, let me speak to myself as I would my best friend, my most valuable friend. Let me tell myself some encouraging sentences. Like, well done, you're doing your best. And just feel what happens to your emotion when you speak to yourself kindly. Just feel it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, we feel loved, beautiful, safe. Yes, thank you so much. And so what we've done is we've understood about negative emotions. We've looked at having an effective way of seeing the emotion with a state of self-respect. And we've looked at the first 2 steps to transform or to manage emotions, accepting and understanding the emotion. And then the next step, knowing myself. I have to know if I'm carrying something from my childhood, something that's happened to me and it's influencing. You know, sometimes I meet people, they are very sensitive. And if you say something to them, just in a very natural way, like, could you change this or could you do this differently? If you say it in a very positive way, they may start to cry or they may get very, very upset. And that's because there's something inside them that they're carrying that makes them insecure or very sensitive. So if they don't change it, then they will always be experiencing negative emotions and they'll be controlling them. Perhaps we feel we've been rejected by a husband or a wife, or rejected by losing our job, or whatever we feel. And then we carry that sense of rejection. And then that influences everything. It's like we put on the glasses of rejection and we see everything through those glasses. And it's not reality. And so, you know, there's more that I'm going to share, very, very important, about the third step, but then also this secret that I want to share with you to really free you from negative emotions. But I've shared a lot, and I think let's just take a few questions now, Phong, if you're around, before we go on.
Thank you so much, Trish. It has been a lot of beautiful advice, beautiful points that we can take into our practice. There have been many questions. So could you kindly share with us what is the most important thing in order for us to have emotion balance?
Okay, yes. Well, I think, we're kind of working through that. And so I think, like, once again, is to live in the middle. When we look at the emotion, we need to look at it from a state of self-respect and accept that we're having it. Only then we can transform it. And absolutely, what we just covered, know myself. If I don't know myself and I don't know that I am insecure in certain areas, or that some big things happened to me when I was growing up that made me perhaps compare myself a lot negatively with others, if I don't recognize that and I just keep going on, then again I see everything through the filter of those glasses. So I think these two things are really, really important. And maybe another question, Phong, before we go on?
Yes, thank you. So should we always try to remove negative emotion, or should we still can accept it to certain degree, to certain extent?
Actually accepting the emotion is the first step to removing it.
Thank you.
Accepting the emotion is the first step to removing it. And I think this question probably means, should we suppress it, right? Or transform it? And I think what we've seen is, if we suppress it, we get sick in our stomach and we can get depression. So honestly, recently someone said, I feel happy when I don't think about it. But then when an event comes and they're in certain situations, again, that emotion will come up. So that habit of avoiding emotions is very common. But if we keep avoiding emotions or creating our life in a way so that we avoid the things or the people that will trigger our emotions, then we're going to spend so much energy in doing that, and we're not going to face and grow really. Emotional energy to suppress it, and then energy to avoid the things that will make me feel uncomfortable. So it's much better to accept it and transform it. And maybe, Fung, as I go on now, if it's okay, some of the things that I'm going to share now will answer that more fully.
Thanks so much.
You know, we have different ways of seeing ourselves. And what I'd like you to do now, if you can, just move. You're in a chair. You don't have to stand up, but just move to the left of your chair and just feel you are this man. This is one way of seeing ourselves, where we feel we are not good and others are better. Now, if I live here, how will I feel? How will I live my life? I'm going to have low self-respect and I'll feel that I'm less than others. Very, very uncomfortable. But then now, if you can go to the right of your chair, like just move over and just feel this, the opposite. Here, I think I'm better than others, more valuable, and they are less. And again, this will bring superiority and not really true self-respect. So often we are living in one of these two. And this is where our negative emotions come from. We're feeling inferior, then we feel guilty, we feel afraid, we feel sad, or superior. And we have ego and disrespect and anger. And, you know, so often one of these two will be the seed of our negative emotions. If we live in the middle, in this state, we know our own strength and value, and we also value others. Can you feel that sitting in the middle now? When I live in the middle, I will have self-respect, and I will also respect others. So just feel it as we're talking about. Feel there's inferiority, there's superiority. But if I'm in the middle and I'm feeling my own value, I'm special, I'm unique. Even just say it inside 5 times. I'm special, I'm unique, I'm valuable. Feel it with each breath. Then again, you feel full inside. And then when you look out and you see others, you also feel value for them. Each one has their own value. Yes? Yeah. Right? And so you just imagine if you live here in this self-respect and you move through your day, what will happen? What will happen by living here all day? Will you get angry if you live here in the middle? This is the secret, right, to set us free. We have emotion when we move out of the middle, when we feel we don't have value, we feel we have more value than others. But if we live in the middle, then we hold our self-respect. So just feel that you are living your day in the middle with self-respect. Yeah. So this is a very beautiful, and very often we're not. It's like a garden. Each one of us has our own beauty and value, and we're all different. But when I stay in the middle, I can hold my value and I can see value in others. And so the 3 steps, the second one, knowing myself, and that means I live in the middle. And the third is transforming the negative emotion. And we've really been doing that quite a lot, haven't we? Changing the negative and going from anger to love, from worry to calm, and even just writing it, writing what I would like to have instead. I name the negative emotion and I write where I want to live, where I want to be instead of that negative emotion. And just feeling myself moving from here to here and going through those steps. So suppressing, I hurt myself, expressing, I hurt others, but transforming, I empower myself with wisdom. Yeah. And I just got a couple of last things I wanted to share before we go to questions, but things that I think are really important, knowing that our thought has an emotion, has a vibration, affects the body, affects the words, behavior, it forms our personality, and really creates the quality of our life. So we are the ones that create our thoughts and vibrations. So really the quality of our life is in our hands. It's in our hands. A lot of the time we spend in the past and rejecting the past. Instead of that, we need to be disciplined and not think about it. Really accept it and learn from it. We can't change the past, but we absolutely can choose how we let it live in our mind. So let it live in my mind in the form of a beautiful lesson, seeing the good that happened and appreciating the lessons. And again, gratitude. And I would suggest every day writing 10 points that I'm grateful for about the day. Because the more gratitude I have, it's a very high vibration of around 700, then the less I will focus on the negative in myself and others. So finally, a summary. These 3 beautiful steps. Accepting and understanding the emotion, knowing myself and staying in the middle, and transforming negative emotions. Letting go of the past, increasing gratitude, and one more bonus, meditating. So really a big thank you for joining. And Phong, I wonder if there's any questions. I'm really happy to take, and then I'd just like to do one more short exercise.
Thank you. In the situation when we have a lot of stress and overloaded with work, how can we keep our emotion
very
balance?
important?
Yeah.
Very, very important. What I suggest we do is that we find moments like we've been doing today, where you can take a deep breath. You can take a deep breath and you can become calm sitting at the traffic light. You can take a deep breath and become calm while you're waiting to meet your child or pick them up, or you're waiting for them to do their homework. Take moments to go through the exercise of breathing, relaxing our body, and creating a positive sentence in our mind. And it's like we are talking to ourselves in a positive way. So this strengthens. It's like, when you're going to run a marathon, you eat a lot of nutritious food so you can do it. When you're busy and you're very busy with a lot of projects, we need to keep feeding ourselves in the mind a lot of nutrition so that we can keep our mind strong. So short exercises often, even when I'm walking, go to my breathing and repeat a calming sentence. I'm calm and I'm in control. So talking positively, letting go of the day so that I can sleep well. I don't carry my day into my sleep and I wake up fresh. Yes, so those are some of the things. And don't waste my time on unnecessary information. When I'm busy, I have to think a lot. So I should take care not to think unnecessary things. And one more question I saw come in.
Yes, thank you.
Someone asked how to overcome ego.
Yes.
And the beautiful solution is self-respect. Ego comes when I don't have self-respect. So stay in the middle. Feed that middle. And when I feed self-respect, automatically ego will go. You can't push it away. You have to be in the middle. I am strong, special, and valuable, and so is everyone else. And I'd just like to spend maybe 30 seconds just to take a deep breath and once more go inside and appreciate myself for making the decision which you all made to join today and to start this amazing journey of building positive emotions and transforming them from negative. So just appreciating myself and then looking through to my evening and seeing myself living with the most positive emotions as I journey through this evening, interacting positively with my family, myself, the surroundings, and just having a beautiful evening today, sleeping peacefully and waking happily tomorrow and continuing the journey. So thank you so much, everyone, for being with us.
It's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Trish, for sharing with us such an important topic at this moment. Thank you.